back. Yes, we are. It's my guy Tone. I'm Rob. We are Sports Big. Let's hit the like button if we could, friends. All right. Let's look at the offense, Tone. And we again, I know we hit some of these statistical things
right
in the first segment, but I think this stuff bears repeating. They put up 9 points, man. 9 points last night. 0 points in the second half. They were 0 for 11 on third and fourth down. 0 for 9 on third. 0 for 2 on fourth down. That's the first time in playoff history that that's happened to the Eagles, where they didn't convert a first down. Okay. 7 drives under 20 yards, which is understandable considering you're not getting any first downs. You see some of the things that you just scratch your head. Like I'll tell you, one of the biggest enigmas for me is Dallas Goedert. Like, what? How does a guy have 4 catches for 21 yards? I don't understand it. And I'm putting some of it on him too, because he actually dropped the ball early. That wasn't a bad throw, and where he was pretty well covered, and he dropped it. Which should have been
tough catch. Tough catch.
It's borderline. It's borderline,
but still, you're a pro. You got to catch it. But that's the problem, right? The problem with this offense is that everything looks like that. And what I mean by that is everything looks difficult. Everything looks laborious. You're constantly dragging a ball and chain. This offense has no flow, no rhythm, no pace. It just looks like everything takes immense effort. Every play just looks so clunky, and every play looks lucky to even be completed. It just seems like everything this year has just been heavy.
Mm-hmm. Laborious.
That's the word. That's how you pronounce it. I said laborious.
Yeah. No, I wasn't trying to correct you. I'm trying
No. I know you weren't, but I'm laughing
at
myself because I always go back and forth between pronouncing that word. Is it laborious
and
or laborious?
I agree with you.
Laborious sounds way more profound. So let's stick with laborious.
I used the word last night. I used quicksand. It feels like everything is so slow. It's like you're on a treadmill that's going like a mile an hour, and it doesn't matter what you do, you're not getting to your destination any faster. Mm-hmm. And it looked like that last night. And the thing I keep getting back to, and I'm just going to hammer it today. I don't know how you haven't been able to fix some of this basic, like elementary school level stuff. That's what I can't get past. It's like, I'm not asking you to suddenly become Sean McVay. I'm not looking for that. But like this stuff, when the team's going to blitz you and you still can't stop it, like that's the ultimate sign of one of two things, or both. You don't know how to coach. Your players aren't good enough. Maybe it's both. But it's not like Tampa. You knew what Tampa was going to do, and you still didn't have any answers for it. And
I've seen teams make adjustments to the blitz all the time. They go power formation. They add another tight end. The run blocking situation, what they do is they'll have the offensive line shift towards shift a little bit towards the blitz. I've seen teams do different things to try to get their quarterback in some favorable situations. They'll move them out the pocket. They'll try to create some easier passing lanes, some quick things to kind of loosen the blitz up, to kind of prevent them from running, with their hair on fire. I've seen teams and coaches just do very small things that get overlooked because you want to know why? Because responding to a blitz is fundamental in football. Most teams don't. Good teams don't blitz because they have a good defense. They don't have the blitz, right? Bad teams have the blitz like that. So when you're struggling against bad defenses, and then good defenses are taking the bad defense's game plan because it's that easy to defend you.
Yeah.
What are we doing here now? Good teams aren't even really playing their best defense against you anymore. They're just blitzing a couple guys and saying, all right, let's send an extra guy or two, drop back. They'll make a mistake. Mm-hmm. That's pretty much how teams are game planning against the Philadelphia Eagles offense right now. It's that elementary.
I listen. I can't fathom it. And then I'm watching things like I'm saying to myself as the game's unfolding. And by the way, props to Devontae Smith who showed up and then
only person that showed up last night.
Beast.
Only person I'm willing to go out on the limb and say showed up last night.
Yeah, the guys.
Everybody else.
Yeah, So he was awesome, and that shouldn't get lost in all this. But I'm saying to myself, get Swift involved, please. Make it easy on Jalen. Just hand it off or swing past.
But Rob, they don't know what to do.
No, they don't. They don't. And here's the other thing. Once again, we saw a screen pass to Quez Watkins. Like, that is you know what that is, Tone? That's like a middle finger. That's basically, we don't need to change things up, man. We do what we do. We just need to do what we do a little bit better. And it's like, no, man, that doesn't work.
They didn't even try to get the ball to Olamide Zacchaeus, and I think he's better than Quez.
You know their second leading receiver after Devontae? You know how many yards they had?
Like 20, 15, something like that?
2 yards.
13.
Are you kidding me? Are you absolutely kidding me? The other thing is you have no depth after your top 2 guys.
None.
Zero.
None. Julio Jones went down, and I was like, damn, we're screwed.
And that was a bad throw. That was a hospital ball throw, and he you know,
he held on. Listen, I'm going out on a limb for Julio and Devontae Smith today. Yeah. Shout out to Julio for that was a huge third down conversion, I think it was. Shout out to Julio Jones catching that pass, took a major hit.
Yeah,
still held onto the ball. It still fell forward. Like, shout out to Julio Jones, man.
Yep.
He earned my respect last night. Shout out to Julio Jones and shout out to Devontae Smith, man. Got to a point where Jalen Hurts was just looking for Devontae, looking for him. Didn't trust anybody else.
Yep.
And I'm like, that's how you know you're in a bad place, man.
Yeah.
You're in a bad place. He doesn't even trust anybody else to do their job. But also, I put that on the quarterback. It's like, how don't you trust these guys? Like, what are you guys working on that you don't trust these guys in certain situations? I mean, the Eagles got to improve their depth at receiver.
Yeah.
They clearly don't trust their depth at tight end beyond blocking, so they got to improve there. This team,
dude, I just keep getting back to what goes on all week. All we hear about in NFL locker rooms is these guys work tirelessly. They live there. They live at the facility. They're doing this. They're doing that. This looks like you did nothing. It looks like you did nothing all week. I mean, how about the play, Tone? This is when you knew early. Like, this was the first or second drive. So, and I think you referenced it earlier. Tampa blitzes them. And there's a blitz coming off the right side. It's a linebacker blitz.
Mm-hmm.
And naturally, instead of climbing the pocket or dumping it off to somebody, Jalen fades back, which is exactly what they want him to do. And then he throws it to his right. And you have Devontae and Goddard basically on top of each other on a route, on a sideline route. Like, there and then you knew they weren't ready to play. You knew that they weren't prepared properly to play that football game. You didn't even need to watch any more of the game. That play told you everything you needed to know.
The details.
Yeah.
The details.
And then real quick, and then the other side, you have 2 guys collide. Like, normally, if you're an offense and you're dragging a guy across, you want to either pick him where you get a little contact, which you're not going to call, or just impede his progress where you can free up the other guy. You didn't even need to do that because 2 Eagles collided with one another. It allowed you to make the play.
Made it easy, man.
Crazy. It's crazy.
They handed Tampa Bay a layup. You lost to an NFC South team.
Yeah. You lost to a team that basically had started the season off terribly, that was written off by everybody, that had to survive the week before against the Carolina team that I think won 2 games. You beat them 9-0. This is a team that you beat 25-11 earlier in the year. Tone, Tampa last night in the second quarter had more total yards than they had all of week 3.
They had over 100 passing yards in after the first quarter.
Exactly.
It was no competition. Listen, I knew they were losing that game after the first couple drives. I'm like, okay, yeah, they're not winning this game. They're just not.
Yeah.
I'm not saying any wrinkles, anything that could give me some sense of, okay, I see they're trying to do something. Nope, not at all. I'm telling you, this coaching staff is going to get blown up. And I really think Harry Roseman, this may be the offseason where we may see a shift in the power structure here. We may. And again, that's the optimism side of me. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I think there may. Look, I will be really, really disappointed in Howie Roseman. Very disappointed in Jeffrey Lurie. If he doesn't look at this thing deeper beyond just, we didn't coach all that well, or we underachieved. It's really hard to come back. We had a tough schedule. There was a lot of night games. please don't dip your foot into the pool of the excuses. Please look at what the root of the issue is. Philosophically, the not caring about linebackers. Did you watch Morrow and Cunningham last night? They couldn't have sucked more. They sucked.
I think they all played their worst game ever. Like Cunningham, they were missing tackle after tackle after tackle after tackle after tackle after tackle. Like that one touchdown where every touchdown just looked comedy.
How about let's just take the Moore touchdown. The amount of missed tackles on the Moore was like, oh my God, he's still running. Oh my God, he's still running. And it wasn't like that was the obvious one. There was one where they threw a receiver screen to Chris Godwin where he breaks one and then he carries this is a receiver, carries like 3 guys to just get the first down.
Right.
Remember that one? And I'm saying this should have been like a 2-yard gain.
The Trey Palmer touchdown looked insane. I'm like, yo,
that was a punt. It was a punt. It was in the air for 15 minutes.
They look like bumbling idiots.
Look, Bradbury seems like a really nice stand-up human being. Okay,
he looks like you seem like a really nice guy, but
he does. I don't think. Yeah, I know. It sounds like I'm about to dump somebody, but like I am. He can never be an Eagle again. Like I don't care what the dead cap hit is what any of it is. Like that to me, if he's back next year, that's a sign that things haven't been fixed.
You can't justify him being here.
No,
outside of the money. Outside of the money, you can't justify Slay being here. You can't justify Bradbury being here, in my humble opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I'm ready to blow up the defense. I'm ready to blow up the entire back seven.
Well, how can't you? I mean, think about it, man. Like, think about it. Okay, let's run through the back seven. I don't want Cunningham or Morrow back.
Mm-hmm.
Nakobe Dean has to earn a starting spot, as far as I'm concerned. He's not being given anything. I don't want Bradbury back. Look, if Slay comes back, fine. He's still decent, fine. I don't love it, but fine. I don't want Byard back. Byard's cooked.
Yeah, I don't see it.
Blankenship maybe should be a special teamer and like a nickel safety.
Yeah. I think they're going to cut Byard though, because they restructured that contract in a way where the dead cap, if they cut him, is
nothing. I know. Yeah. I agree. Like think about it. Every like the veteran moves that Howie made in 2017, he brought in Chris Long, he brought in LeGarrette Blount, he brought in Nick Foles. We could go on and on. Like everyone was.
If you notice, his model or his process has remained the same since then.
Yeah.
He'll go through the off season. He'll try to plug some holes. He'll try to see if he can make another deal or two right before the season. Then the season starts. Right around trade deadline, he'll make a move or bring in an aging veteran or a veteran or someone who's maybe motivated, typically a veteran. And then he hopes that that's the linchpin to help push the team over the top. And he's done that three straight times in every season where they've been contenders, right? 2017 did it. They won. I think he tried to do it in 2018 as well. Didn't get much out of it. 2022 did it last year when Dominic Soon, Laval Joseph brought them in, changed the narrative. This year, you try to bring in Shaq Leonard, Kevin Byard, Bradley Roby, all these characters mid-season, and it didn't pan out. And if you notice, each time the hit rate got lower and lower and lower and lower. Every free agent he ever brought in, the hit rate gets lower and lower. What happened last year is an anomaly. Any team that brings in free agents in the offseason, if you bring in 5 free agents, you're lucky if 3 of them hit. You're lucky if 2 or 3 of them hit. You're lucky. You know what I mean? Last year, the Eagles were an anomaly last year. Every move, every free agent, everything hit except for the Super Bowl check. Everything hit except for that. So right now.
And this is the opposite. This year's the opposite.
It's the complete opposite.
Everything's been a bust, a massive bust, in so many different ways. And
I'm telling you, man, they need some real checks and balances. They need some real football people making some real decisions.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they got it. They just. Here we are. here's the way we're doing this. And the way we've been doing it, we have to look at this a little bit differently. Linebackers, actually, you don't have to spend what you spend on an edge rusher, but you got to put a little bit more resource into that. Safety is a little bit more important than we have given it, its due. Maybe we have to re-examine the throw thing. Maybe we have to re-examine always deferring on the kickoff. Like, it's just all of these things, like, you're so set in stone and you're so set in your ways.
My thing is, my defense is bad. Why am I putting them on the field first?
Yeah. Why am I exposing them for any more series than I have to?
My defense is bad. Why am I putting them on the field first?
Right.
Make it make sense. This is what it's the simple shit, Rob. It's like,
yeah, I know.
Your defense is bad. Okay. I'm gonna lead with offense in this game. Put some points on the board. Allow my defense to come on the field with any kind of lead, even if it's 3 points. Allow my defense to come on the field with the lead. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Nope. Nah. I want to send my defense out there because I know they're bad, and you know what? I want to get their feet wet, and I want to build their confidence. They're bad. There's nothing you can build. They're bad.
Yeah.
You take the ball first, drive down the field, set the tone. You allowed Tampa Bay to set the tone. They were bullying you in the trenches. The Eagles' offensive line got pushed around yesterday. That's another thing we didn't talk about much. Yeah. They got pushed around. Bad. Even when they were just sending 4 guys. They got pushed around. Kalijah Kancey was working Cam Jurgens. Kalijah Kancey was working Jason Kelsey. Kalijah Kancey was working Landon Dickerson. And look, I don't mean no disrespect to the vet, man. Look, he's retiring today. I know he want to end out on a good note. But my man, he got worked.
Yeah.
Kalijah Kancey, a rookie, was working Landon Dickerson and Cam Jurgens. He worked that entire interior.
Everybody's on notice, man. Everybody's on notice. I don't care who it is. And look, there were so many things that happened in that game. How about if I told you they would get 4 sacks and they wouldn't commit a turnover? You would have said Eagles win the game, right? I would have. And that actually happened. But it didn't matter because there were so many other aspects of their game that were just nowhere near ready for playoff level. And if you think about their losses to close out the year, you lost to the Giants, terrible team. Cardinals, terrible team. And the only reason the Bucs
lost to the Seahawks.
Lost to the Seahawks with a backup quarterback who had to go 92 yards on you. And you lost to a Bucs team that would have never been in the playoffs if they had played in any other division but the one that they had played in.
Right.
And the Giants killed you. The Bucs killed you. And in the second half, the Cardinals killed you.
The Cardinals killed them. I don't care what the score says. They killed them. They dominated them at the point of attack. They dominated them all across the board. You can make an argument that in theory they ended the season losing to 4 teams that won't make the playoffs, in any normal circumstance.
100%.
You lost to the Seahawks, Cardinals, Giants, Bucs. Teams that wouldn't make the playoffs and haven't made the playoffs. Yeah. What are we doing? What are we doing here, man?
Yeah. Let's sneak one in. Let's come back and we will continue with the discussion here. We'll look a little bit more heavy on the defensive side of the ball and some of the things they need to do, man. And Brandon Graham has made a statement about his future last night. We'll talk about that also, but just how stark these changes need to be and the desperation move that turned out to be an absolute mistake and nightmare of Matt Patricia. Let's dive into all that when we come back. Don't go anywhere. Tone DeShields, Rob Ellis. We are Sports Take. All right, let's talk about Jim Murray and Principal Financial Group, because knowing who to trust with your finances, it's imperative, right? It is really, really important. And I didn't find the right person for a very long time, and I'm glad that I did, and I want you to as well. It's Jim Murray and Principal Financial Group. Whether it's retirement planning, 401k review, insurance review, you might have a small business, you're trying to get your employee benefits off the ground, that is another resource that Jim can help you with. Personally, I've entrusted my IRA, my 401k rollovers with Jim, and I couldn't be any happier. I also love the fact that I can just pick up the phone and call him anytime I have any questions about anything, and he either answers or he gets right back to you. Give him a call, 610-996-4751, 610-996-4751. You could also email him as well, Murray, MURRAY.Jim@principal.com.